What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news in the form of This Week at Bungie. And of course this week we have had the reveal for Season of the Splicer. So in the TWAB, Bungie jump in and they talk about seasonal armor. We get a better look at that stuff as well as a bunch of weapons that we're going to be getting in Season 14. So Season Pass stuff, as well as activity stuff, ritual weapons, Nightfall rewards, and reprised weapons. Then they also give us a breakdown of a bunch of patch note changes that we're going to see as part of Season 14. So we're going to break it down in the video, guys. As always, I hope you enjoy this one. But now, let's get into it. Initially, they show us the new armor for the season, and they say previously you would earn this armor by leveling your season rank and unlocking new pieces on the seasonal track. But moving forward, seasonal armor will be earned from seasonal activities, and you'll also be able to guarantee pieces from these sets using focused umbral engrams. Season rank levels that once featured armor have been updated with packages of glimmer, legendary shards, upgrade modules, exotic engrams, enhancement cores, and prisms. And universal armor ornaments will continue to be earned towards the end of the season pass. That's pretty interesting, and we can see that new season set right there. And they move on to say that on the seasonal track, there will be 3 new weapons to earn. Season pass owners will unlock the new exotic sidearm on day 1 of the season as soon as they claim their first rank reward. But additionally, the new shotgun and heavy machine gun will be up for grabs as you level up. But then additionally, if we want a full loadout of this style, they say new weapons will be available through umbral engrams and override completion. So going to be a pretty similar system to what we've seen over the past season or so. But I'm definitely curious to check out those new archetypes of weapons they're introducing. And right here they say outside of Override, there's even more legendary loot to claim, and to start, we'll receive a new quest to earn the Null Composure Fusion Rifle, and once the weapon is unlocked, we can collect Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard themed ornaments to further customize the style. So Ritual Fusion Rifle from the Gunsmith right there confirmed. Be interesting to see what that thing's like. It's definitely a cool looking weapon. And they say there will also be weapons joining the current slate of post-game rewards for Crucible, Gambit, and Vanguard strikes, and in total, there will be 12 legendary weapons to earn, 4 per activity. We can see some of them right there. Very old school hand cannon model on the screen as well. But they say for the endgame Focus Guardians out there are 3 familiar weapons up for grabs. We have no doubt that D1 veterans among us will be able to recall the legends in an instant. And like last season, each weapon will be on a weekly rotation in Nightfall playlists. And upping the difficulty will give you higher drop chances as you search for desired roles, with adept versions coming in the Grandmaster Nightfalls. So, of course, right there we have the Hung Jury from D1, as well as the Irene RR4, I believe that was the name, and I think that is the long far gone fusion rifle from the Vanguard in Destiny 1. So, those are going to be some pretty fun ones to chase, and it'll be interesting to see how they're updated in D2. But they go on to say that the team has cooked up some fun perks for the season as well, so we'll have opportunities to mix flavors that we know with fresh ingredients. They also say that some of the artifact mods for Season 14 will turn these weapons up to 11, so it's going to be interesting to see what they have in store. But for a preview of weapons right there, definitely, there appear to be some cool things on the way for Season 14, so give us your thoughts about those. But next they talk about a few previews for the patch that we're going to see on Tuesday before the season goes live. So initially, Stasis abilities will now have colorblind support, and that includes enemy crystals, Squall, Duskfield, and Bleak Watcher. And then player highlighting in the Crucible will also have colorblind support. For subclass tuning and hunters, they say the freeze detonation from Silence and Squall has been reduced from 12 meters to 8.5 meters in radius, and enemy Squall now has a red ring to define the area as it approaches. Certainly some positive changes there. For Titans, the Shiver Strike melee energy is now refunded when Glacial Quake ends. They also fixed an issue in which players can trigger Whisper of Torment by standing in an opponent's barricade. And then for the Shadebinder, Bleak Watcher aspect now grants 2 fragment slots. And for Chaos Reach, they fixed an issue where Chaos Reach Super was allowing it to penetrate some thin walls or objects enough to damage and kill opponents on the other side. So that is going to be a little bit less potent. Here though, they give us a clip for an updated nav mode with the ghosts. So when we've got nav mode up, they've separated the bounties and quests, and also all bounties now appear in nav mode, which means they can no longer be tracked as a result, and category switching on keyboard and mouse can be controlled with scroll wheel. But also Tracked Triumph now appears in its own nav mode category. And we can see there are different options and kind of buckets within that nav mode preview of objectives. So I think that's a pretty cool change for sure, and will definitely be useful. Also in the UI, Legends have been added to the Director's Destination tab, and this is where we'll find the Vault of Glass in just a few weeks' time. The shortcut between HUD quest step notifications and quest detail screen has been added for keyboard and mouse users. And 6v6 Crucible activities have an updated intro experience, where we can cycle through teammates to view metrics associated with the activity we're entering. That's an interesting change as well. But here, Helm now appears on the Director Destinations tab, moved from the tower map. It has its own map. And for umbral engrams, they now auto-decrypt when focused via the Prismatic Recaster. And the visual states for focusing options in the Prismatic Recaster have been streamlined to reduce visual clutter and confusion. Up next, we're going to see some changes to Glory, Valor, and Infamy. So the reputations have had their internal systems rebuilt to a unified implementation, and in-game players should perceive minimal changes. So essentially, all sub-ranks are now referred to as simply ranks, and all usage has been converted to use them when appropriate. So all lifetime values, all quest targets, have been multiplied by 3. Glory playlists no longer block Valor win streaks from declining, but also the Valor badge now appears on the Trials launch screen. The Infamy win streak bonus is now linear, so you get plus 35 points per win, and the Glory win streak bonus is linear as well, granting plus 20 points per win. And they say with the eventual update to Vanguard Reputation, players should be ready to spend their Vanguard tokens during Season of the Splicer, so they're going to be adding a ranking system to the Vanguard in Season 15 by the sounds of it. So that's interesting, give us your thoughts down below. Then for Eververse, players can now easily filter the offerings in the Storefront Archive tab. They also say they've added many exotic weapon and armor ornaments from previous seasons to the Archive tab. But also spawn effects and shaders are now standalone items in Bright Engrams, and Bright Engrams can no longer decrypt into duplicates of those items, and a small amount of Glimmer will be awarded when decrypting Bright Engrams. On top of this though, Momentum Control and Team Scorched have returned and will be available as part of the weekly playlist rotation. They've also added repeatable bounties to Shorhan and the Cosmodrome, and fixed an issue causing vaulted gear to erroneously drop from Strike Unique loot lists. They've also added a full suite of trace rifle focused armor mods to the game. And so those changes will be arriving alongside Season 14 next Tuesday on May 11th. And for the distribution of that update, at 9 AM PDT, maintenance is going to begin, so that's an hour before the daily reset time or the weekly reset time. Then at the weekly reset time, the update will become available across all platforms and regions. So essentially that is when the game will go live again, and maintenance is expected to conclude an hour later at 11 AM PDT. So as always, I'll be keeping you posted on that season stuff next week. Some things to add here in relation to Season 14. There were a few questions about Grandmaster Nightfalls and the release date for those during the season, since it wasn't displayed on the calendar, and DMG said that Grandmasters will come in around the middle of next season, but also that the team has seen feedback on GM titles and gilding and their availability. The fact that we aren't going to get any changes in Season 14, but it is a conversation folks are having internally at Bungie. So, some additional things to bear in mind right there on the subject of Grandmasters. Following the trailer for Season of the Splicer the other day though, a lot of people have been commenting on the baby Fallen that was spotted in the trailer. Obviously, we may learn at least a little bit about that during the season in some of the cinematic content we're going to see. A bunch of that teased in the trailer, but Cosmo said he's passing along feedback that the community would like to see baby Fallen plush dolls. And so if you are a collector, could be something to look out for in the near future, and it definitely seems like something that Bungie would be pretty likely to do. An additional thing worth mentioning, but players have been curious about the voice actor for Ikora that was featured in the Season of the Splicer trailer, and obviously will be featured in the content itself. There's an article here, but a lot of folks have been talking about it. And so Gina Torres has been the voice actor for Ikora throughout the history of Destiny so far. And if we compare some Ikora dialogue right here, this is Ikora in Vanilla Destiny 2.
I believe he sent his legion to find something they could never possibly understand. And I believe they will continue to desecrate all we hold sacred.
And then this is a sample of Ikora's voice from the Splicer trailer.
This morning, for the first time in humanity's long and storied history, the sun did not rise.
I'd say it definitely sounds different right there, but I'd be curious to get your thoughts about it down below. And who knows, maybe we'll get an update if there has been a change of voice actress. Also, over this weekend, we are going to see the closing ceremony for the Guardian Games. That'll be interesting in itself, although it's looking pretty promising for the hunters out there. We know that we're going to see Endless Night during Season 14, and some players wonder whether the finale for Guardian Games could actually be tied to a sort of end of season event. And it's something that does seem possible, but we will simply have to wait and find out. As always though, give us any of your thoughts or speculation about it down below. And for today, that's what we have to round up in the video. So guys, as always, I hope you have enjoyed this one. And if it's been useful, a like rating down below does help us out. But also get subscribed to the channel. I'll keep you posted with a bunch of content next week, launching into season 14. For now though, thank you for tuning in, and whatever you get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.